don't perform. Sorry, Prabhuji.
Please carry on, Mataji. Please carry on.
If you don't, perform your duties, then people will talk about your infamy, and infamy is worse than death. So here in this verse, there is a word called abhyayam, which is for very long time they will talk about infamy.
Yeah.
And um, yeah, so there are two principles that I could understand last time, which is never we should never disrespect our elders, and another one was we should never praise ourselves, because praising ourselves is like killing oneself. So and Krishna is the honor of all the glories that we have. Krishna can make many nice things through a person if that person doesn't have pride.
Thank you, Mataji.
So,
And this principle we have taken from which example? Maybe you can share that.
When Yudhishthira, in the battlefield, he was about to kill by Karna, and he came to his shivara, and then Arjuna came after him, and Arjuna, asked Yudhishthira if he was all right, but he was very angry that Arjun could not do anything to save him. So he said that you are not potent to carry this Gandev. And Arjuna got really angry, and then he picked up his sword to kill Yudhishthira. So then Krishna asked him, why are you doing this? Why are you taking out your sword? Then Arjuna said that I took a vow that if somebody tell me that I'm not able to carry this Gandiva, then I'll kill that person. Then Krishna, gave another alternative to Arjuna that, if you disrespect a person like elder, then they are, equal to like, they are died, like, so, and then then Krishna, then Arjuna again, took his sword. Then he was about to kill himself. So then, then Krishna asked, what happened now? So then he said, no, if I also took another vow that, I don't, if I'm unable to kill that person who said that word, then I will kill myself. Then Krishna told that, if you can not, if you praise yourself, then it's worth killing yourself, So.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. Why I asked that question, Mataji? Because sometimes there's a principle and there is an example. So many times when we remember the example, it's easy to remember the principle. The principles we forget. So from memorization of perspective, remembering examples are much easier. And through the examples, we'll remember the principle. But when we are telling others, we should tell principle first and example later. But when you're listening, it should be example first and principle later, just because our human mind is always remember the examples better than the principle. So that's why, Mataji, I asked for everyone's benefit, my benefit as well. Thank you. Very nice. So this verse basically tells the last line Prabhupada says, for a respectable person, dishonors is worse than the death. So we should remember that for ourselves or for others, especially for others. And always, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, the third verse of Shastri. What's the third verse? So everyone should give me a lot of honor and I should not give any honor to anyone else, right? No, that's what we think, isn't it? We expect that much. Be honest. Everyone should honor me and I should give the least honor to others. It's exactly other way Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. Huh? Even if someone is disrespectful, for us, Bhagavad Gita says we should tolerate as much as possible. So even if no one gives us honor, it's fine as per this verse. Now, how much we can tolerate, that's a different discussion altogether. But as per the principle, we should not expect any honor from others. I'm one of the very lowest person, so why should someone honor me? But I should give honor to even an ant. It says, Trinada Pisnichan, even worse than the trin, worse than the straw in the street. How much value a straw in the street is? Nothing. You step over it, does it ever call your name? What are you doing? Don't you know me? I'm such a great person. And does he sue you? Nothing. He does nothing to you. Okay. Okay, let's move forward. 35. We have Raghavi Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare.
Sorry.
35. Okay.
35, it says, the great journals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you insignificant. So basically, Lord Krishna is telling him that you.
Mataji, you're on mute now.
Sorry.
That's okay.
No, I didn't mute myself. Someone else muted, but that's.
No.
So basically, Krishna is telling him that is encouraging him not to run away, but to do his religious duty as a Kshatriya and fight, because all the others will think that he run away from the battlefield out of fear only. And in the last class, you were talking about the point that as long as your action, intention, and perceptions are aligned with sadhu, shastra, and sangha, we should not bother about what our actions will lead to, because Arjuna was giving all the reasons, all 5 reasons not to fight. And in these verses, especially, he was talking about sinful reactions that he would be getting if he killed his elders of the family, and also that he won't be able to enjoy the fruits of the war if he wins. So he was saying all those things, and Lord Krishna was saying that you don't worry about all those things as long as whatever you're doing is aligning with sadhu, shastra, and sangha.
Thank you, Mataji. Maybe we can pick up some Sanskrit words as well. Bhayad Ranad Uparatam. So Rana is very simple. Battlefield. Bhayad is fear. Uparatam, you run away. So you run away from the battlefield. Manjanse Tvam Maharatha. So Maharatha, the many great warriors assembled there, will consider you Maninge. Yesham Chatum Bahumato. So far they were considering you as Bahumat. He's a very great person. Arjuna is a great warrior. He's a great Kshatriya. Even as a person, as a warrior, he's a great person. Bhutva Yasasvi Laghavam. Laghu meaning chota. So they will consider you chota, small. Actually, he is running away from the battlefield out of fear. So they will consider you as very, very small rather than considering you as big. Now, this verse also carries a principle. What is the principle here? If someone considering you a big person and then someone start considering you a small person, which happens in our society all the time. So should we be very worried about? So Mataji already gave a principle. We should be worried only when we are not aligned with our sadhu, shastra, and guru. If we are going obviously against our Guru Maharaj, against the sadhus, against the shastra, we should be worried. They are saying something, I'm doing something. I should be worried, I should correct myself. But if I'm aligned with them, these 3 authorities, which are the 3 authorities? Sadhu, Shastra, and Guru. They will never be in contradiction. They will always be aligned. Only it's us versus them. Many times they say something, we do something, or our perception is different. So if we are aligned with them, everyone else may not consider us so great. That's all right. I think I gave the example of Prabhupada. Prabhupada did so-called many things which were in worldly view, not out of, not as per the mark, as per the standard. One of the examples we get, he allowed Matajis to stay in the ashram, which was criticized by his god brothers. One of the examples, and there are many more. He gave Brahman initiation to so-called Malechhas. They were taken birth outside India. How can they become a Brahmin? Now, Prabhupada is following the scripture, but they are saying, how can they do the deity worship? They are foreigners, they are Malechhas. They cannot do deity worship. You are installing the deities in the temple. You don't have enough Brahmanas. You should have 11 priests. You should have 5-day ceremony. Prabhupada said, if you chant Hare Krishna, it's enough. We may do other ceremonies, but it's not needed. And Prabhupada still did many times. Prabhupada said that Just for the local people, I'm doing this yajna. Actually, yajna is not important. All is needed is Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You know, Jayananda Prabhu, Rath Yatra is coming. Jayananda Prabhu's photo always come in the Rath Yatra card. You would have seen. Very, he was born in American bodied disciple of Prabhupada. Very, very hard working. And Prabhupada asked all the devotees to put his photo on the Rath Yatra, every single Rath Yatra. So no matter where you go in the world, if they know a little bit, they must put the photo of Jayananda Prabhu, because he said it's only because of the toll which he had taken. So he was a taxi driver by profession, but he used to earn for that. He live in the temple, he would drive taxi for 12 hours or whatever. He will give every single penny. Final stages, he got cancer. He was very young, probably 35 or something like that. But he got cancer and he was leaving his body. So his family came, and the family was not very rich, but they were like medium. They gave him $10,000-15,000 for his diagnosis and prescriptions and all that. He gave the 15,000 to Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, no, you keep it for us. Why do I need money? And he was very happy to his final days. Anyway, so in his life, Prabhupada said, you chant Hare Krishna. And one incident is very, very inspiring. I heard that, so I wanted to share. Never thought I'll share today, but anyway, it's, I think, nice. So Jayananda Prabhu was not a very scholarly person as per Shastra. He was very nice devotee, but not very scholarly in Shastra, not able to recite the verses and all that so nicely. So Prabhupada gave him second initiation, so he was chanting Gayatri Mantra as well. So one day he went to the Krishna Maharaj and he said, Maharaj, I'm chanting these Gayatri Mantras, and whoever chants, and they have to chant silently and clearly in a peaceful place. He said to Maharaj, I'm chanting Gayatri Mantra, but I'm not sure I'm chanting it correctly. So Maharaj said, okay, you tell me, what are you chanting? Usually we don't tell, but he's a sannyasi. So he said, okay. So he told what he was chanting, and Maharaj put his hand on his head. Okay, what to do with the guy? And so he took Jayananda Prabhu to Prabhupada. So he said the problem. The problem is, I'm not sure I'm chanting it correctly. That was his problem, which he presented openly. He was honest. So Prabhupada heard his chanting. So Taman Krishna Maharaj said, he's blabbering something. I'm not sure it's Gayatri Mantra. Prabhupada heard the pronunciation of Jayananda Prabhu and he laughed. He said, that's all right. You chant Hare Krishna. That is more important. Prabhupada said that. We chant Hare Krishna. Now, we don't have faith in our Hare Krishna chanting, to be very honest. I don't have much. But it is so, so, so important. And it is so complete. You don't need anything else. You said even for DT installation, all you need is Hare Krishna Mantra Kirtan. You don't need any yajna, any Vedic ritual, or any ceremony. He said, just chant Hare Krishna. We just don't have enough faith, because this is the Maha Mantra, the lead of all the mantras. So we should have this faith. When we have this faith in this, then we can do other things very, very nicely. Someone was saying our spiritual progress 99% depends on our sincere chanting. 99%. Everything else, whatever we do, this cooking, that cooking, running here, running there, reading and getting Bhakti Shastri degree and all that. Sorry, that's a principle. 99% is our sincere chanting. If we can do that base nicely, everything else will flow very, very nicely. So we should remember that principle. How did I go there? In this last time? How did I go? Who will tell? Fantastic. How did I get into this example? It was related to our topic. What was the topic which we discussed earlier? Aligned to Sadhu Shastra. Yes, actually, yes. Aligned to, yeah. Yes. So aligning is very, very important. And now this alignment is not our personal respect. Now people are respecting me because I am so great and I think I'm aligned. Now, when we talk about personal respect, that is considered as pride. So we have to differentiate as well. Supposedly I'm following my Sadhu Shastra and Guru, but internally I'm seeking my self-respect, isn't it? It's possible. I may look like a devotee, I may behave like a devotee, I may speak like a devotee, but am I a devotee? That's a big question. Looking like a devotee, behaving like a devotee, that's all right, and that's good. That's our starting point. That's not wrong, but that's a starting point. Wearing dhoti kurta, it's not a big deal. Carrying some verses is also not a big deal. But am I a devotee? That's a big deal. That is a big deal. The whole journey is about, am I a devotee or not? So we should be very much clear about it, that the respect which we are talking here and the alignment which we are talking here is not just in the words we are talking. This alignment should be in our heart. And that's why when we do the kirtan, we say all glories to Guru and Gauranga. We don't say all glories to me because I sang so nicely, or I gave class so nicely, I cooked so nicely, I did deity worship so nicely. We don't do that. All glories to Guru and Gauranga. So whatever I could do, say a good seva, that is only due to the mercy of my Guru and Gauranga. Otherwise, I just switched off. My laptop was on a battery mode. So I asked Prabhuji, it's on battery, not on power. So Prabhu switched on this plug here. Now, Prabhu, can you switch off the plug? That plug, switch off where it's coming from. Now it's on battery mode again. Prabhu, switch it on. It's on power again. Who's the controller of this plug right now? Rupam Prabhu seems to be the controller of this plug. He can switch on and off. Wow, Prabhu. But if I call him the supreme controller, will it be a very intelligent thing? Because the whole electricity, there's a bahar is fuse hoga. I'm sure there's a fuse box there. Huh? Even before you go, there's a fuse box. Sumit Prabhu will go out. Too much trouble, Rupam Prabhu. He'll switch off the fuse box, whole electricity will go. Now, who is the controller? Sumit Prabhu is the controller. But even above them, there is another controller. Edmondson Park, some central, Endeavor Energy, whatever energy, Australia. So we see there's a layers of it. So wherever we are, we should just recognize our position, and in that position, do the things very nicely. At the same time, recognize ourselves where we are. Otherwise, when we misrecognize, then even the alignment happens, but the disalignment is here in my heart, because I am seeking self-respect. And that's not very nice. Many times, Bhakti Rasayan Maharaj said very nice thing. It's written by Vishnu Chakra Thakur. He says there are different types of anarthas which arise. One of the anartha, Vishnu Chakra Thakur writes, arise from performing bhakti. Okay, performing bhakti arises anartha in the heart. This is the anartha. I am performing bhakti. I'm chanting Hare Krishna. I'm wearing a devotee dress. I go to temple. I Dandavad Pranam and all that. But I feel I am a devotee. And people should respect me like a devotee. That is a anartha or a artha? Pure anartha. Am I doing the wrong thing externally? No, I'm not. But still is anartha. It is arisen from me performing bhakti for the benefit coming out of bhakti. So this alignment, which that's why I thought is important to know, this alignment should not be just done externally, which is a starting point. It's not wrong. It's not wrong wearing dhoti kurta, chanting Hare Krishna, going to temple, going down. Definitely needed. Even if you don't like it, you should do it. That's a starting point. But the alignment which we are talking here should be done in the heart. That is very, very important. And once we understand, once we have faith, especially in the holy name, then everything else is secondary. Okay, let's move forward. Thank you, Raghi Mataji. Charu Mataji, Hare Krishna. Were you there in the last class, Mataji?
No, Prabhu, I wasn't.
Okay, so maybe we should move. Jai Prakash Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. (236). Prabhu, you're on mute.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Prabhu.
Your translation is, O son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain the heaven.
236 we are.
236 Prabhu. Yeah, sorry. Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What would be more painful for you? So in this, Krishna is saying, like, even though Arjuna is more compassionate, but they can perceive him with like he's fleeting away from the war, and they can use some unkind words which will disrespect his ability. He's a great devotee of the Lord. And
So
which will,
here it's more about not a devotee of the Lord, it's a Kshatriya we are talking.
yeah.
So if you read the previous verse, if you run away from the battlefield or you walk out of the battlefield, same thought pattern, avachya vadansha. So vachya means to speak, avachya means not very nice words. No? Vadansha means to speak, bahun So they will describe you with many unkind words. Gali denge. They will talk you impotent, eunuch. Hindi mein kya bolte hain? Jo bhi bolte hain. Whatever. We leave it there. आप संस्कृत बोल रहे हो, हिंदी मुझे तो चलेगा. अवाच्य वादांश बहुन वदिष्यन्ति तवाहिताः. And how many of them they will speak like that. Nindanastam samartham. Samartham means ability. So they will question your ability. That's another thing. So if someone questions your ability, I think we give an example. If you're such a great cook and someone says, oh, you can't even make a tea, you'll feel bad in the heart. I can cook a lot more than that. So if someone questions you, especially once they misunderstands you, it's very painful in the heart. Mataji has that nice ability to draw nice paintings. Don't ask me to do that. But if someone questions, you can't even draw a straight line. Someone says in a sarcastic way, you feel painful in the heart, and they know your weak points. They will hit exactly at the same point, isn't it? Hit where it hurts. That's what they say. Hit where it hurts. And they know. Many times the family arguments is based on that. We know each other's weak points, and then we start praising that weak points. So it's very painful actually. So Krishna is just presenting the universal truth here. Again, it's not recommending that. What he's saying is presenting the universal truth. Okay, thank you, Jai Prakash Prabhuji. If anyone has any more points, please say. Yeah.
I think we already discussed.
Okay, I'll just Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I think we also discussed on the non-Aryans. Like Aryans, we discussed the people who follow the religious scriptures, and non-Aryans are the ones who don't.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, very nice. So non-Aryans, yeah, they don't have any spiritual knowledge, spiritual dimension. Yes, Ma'am.
Yes, as a combination for 35, of 34, 35, 36, you said that there are three things that comes into any action that anyone performs, and that comes as a ill state. That one is action,
Yes.
intention, and others perception.
Thank you,
So
Prabhuji.
the action is people giving judgment based on the actions. Intention is others cannot understand or identify the intention on which the action is being done. And the perception is that others are always good at giving the judgment and check others' actions.
Yes.
So one should do everything based on Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, as we discussed.
Yeah.
And one should not be judgmental in its action in performing, not judgmental in actually checking someone else.
That's true. Thank you, Chris. Very important point actually. Thank you for bringing it up. I forgot about it. Yeah. So in our intention, our action, and others' perception, we deal with these three things actually throughout the day. No matter where you are in the family, you go outside, you go at work, in the bus. Sometimes you sit next to someone and accidentally you may hit a person or just slightly. You'll get very disturbed. You didn't mean to, touch that person or hit that person, but they feel very bad about it. Once I did it, to be very honest, I didn't mean it, but there's an old man sitting. Somehow, my hand got touched to his hand or something. He was very disturbed. I didn't even realize it. Oh, you didn't even say sorry. I just had no idea that I have accidentally touched his hand. Very slight, very, very slight. Anyway, so your action may be very nice, your intention may be very nice, but others perceive that same action as a misaction, not an appropriate action. So try as much as possible. I know it's not always possible, but your action and others' perception should align as much as possible. Otherwise, if perception is bad because you are following the Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, let it be. What can we do? But our intentions are the most important thing, not our action. But as much as possible, we try to present our action in good faith. Don't just go on the road crazy. Remembering one example, Nityananda Prabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we read, he was an avadhut. Many times he will not wear clothes very nicely, just because he's avadhut, he's not in this world. Sometimes he will go to, once time he was going in a river. So he asked a crocodile to chant Hare Krishna. So when you ask a crocodile to chant Hare Krishna, what response do you expect? I'm just asking you guys. He opened his mouth, he said, come inside and I will make you hear. My heart is chanting Hare Krishna. And Nityananda Prabhu didn't like when he didn't chant. This is Nityananda, Prabhu. It's not us. He didn't like when a crocodile didn't chant. He jumped into the water next to the crocodile. He was like going the river on a boat, obviously. So he jumped into the water, and others are like, "Arey, what are you doing? It's a big crocodile." And he went close to the crocodile. He slapped crocodile. That's in Chaitanya. And he started chanting Hare Krishna. Now we should not try that. I'm not recommending that, but just an example. So they can do anything. We are not supposed to follow these actions, but many times Krishna also did many things which we are not supposed to follow. We just supposed to relish those pastimes, but action-wise they say we should meditate on Krishna's pastime, but action-wise we should do Lord Ram's action. Lord Ram is Maryada Purushottam. He came for that purpose. Lord Krishna is Leela Purushottam. We cannot copy his Leelas. Prabhupada said, I think in Australia, Prabhupada gave this lecture, I think probably in Melbourne, and he gave this example of many people say in India, outside world as well now, Krishna is dancing with so many girls. So Prabhupada said, you also want to become Gopijan Vallabh? You also want to dance with many girls? So he said, yes, you can do that, but first you have to become Girivardhari. Right before dancing the girls, Krishna did that. So you first become Girivardhari. So first you lift the Govardhan in your pinky finger of your left hand, and then we'll talk about the next one. So you're big, yeah. You're big, just Govardhan. What Govardhan Dhari? Just 1 ton Patthar Dhari. I'll give you 1 ton rock. You lift it in your pinky finger for 7 days. And then Prabhupada said, what to speak of Govardhan Dhari? Just become a table Dhari. Just lift a table in your pinky finger for 7 days. What 7 days? 7 minutes you can't hold. Now you want to become Gopijan Vallabh? Prabhupada was saying like that. So you want to become Gopijan Vallabh? First become Girivardhari. So we want to copy those actions of Krishna which we like in our language. We are not supposed to do that. We can't perform even a slightest of it. What to speak of what Krishna did? He could maintain 16,108 lives because he's Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we should meditate on those actions, relish those actions, but perform the actions of say Lord Ram, because that's what the purpose of that avatar is. So we should be very careful when we cross our limits, which we immediately cross in giving judgments to others. Very quickly we give judgment. He is sleeping because he is very lazy. When I'm sleeping, I'm very tired, Prabhu. I slept very late. I woke a lot yesterday. So whenever I do something, is completely justified. My family does something, is completely justified. When a neighbor does something, the same action he is blamed for. He must have a bad intention. Maybe he's completely pure, but we judge others very, very quickly. We should step back, unless that's our duty. And when that becomes our duty, when you become a spiritual master, unless you are a spiritual master, don't talk about this. When you become a spiritual master, temple president, or something like that, then that becomes your duty. Prabhupada said, I think Jamati Mataji posted one BSS post of Prabhupada very recently. He said, please don't, Prabhupada is saying, just saying the words of Prabhupada, he said, please don't mind when I chastise you. It's my duty, it's the duty of spiritual master to find faults in the disciples. Please don't mind. I'm doing my duty. When you become spiritual master, then you can do that. Till that time, just stay tolerant. And that also, that action also needs to be done with good intention, in a good environment, in a good way. As a father, you chastise your kid, not in public. He says, in public, you always praise. In private, you may complain if that is appropriate. And that also should be done at appropriate times. Not any time you walk in and you say anything, then you know the result will be big blast. Okay, let's move forward. Thank you, Mahasa Prabhu. That is very nice. So our intention, action, and others' perception, because we deal with these 3 words every day. If we meditate as a devotee, as an aspiring devotee, then some things we can avoid, some things, especially in the devotee circle.
Prabhu, can I make a comment on
Yes,
what you
Mataji.
just said?
Please,
It's
Mataji.
just, Mahatma Prabhu, you were saying that we justify our own actions, but we don't, but the same actions performed by others, we find fault with.
Yes.
So Mahatma Prabhu, he's a wonderful writer. And one time he wrote a poem called I Was Shocked. So in that, I'm sure most devotees have read it, but I'll just give a very quick summary. He said, When I went to, he died and he went to Golok Vrindavan, and on the doorstep, he found so many people were there. One was the temple president who did the fraud. One was this who did the fraud, and he was shocked. And in his mind, he was thinking, oh, how come you are here? You did this action. How come you are there? You did that. How come you are there? You did that. And all those people who were in Golok Vrindavan already were looking at Mahatma Prabhu and saying, oh, you preacher, you are the biggest fraud. How come you are here? So in the nutshell, and I will copy and paste that and send it in the chat.
Yes.
It's beautifully written.
Yes.
Just a summary of what you said. We justify ourselves, but we don't see those same justification for others.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. I think in one of the classes somewhere, in this class, okay, we actually shared this, Mataji. But thank you for correcting. I think it was me. I said Gurujan Prabhu. It was Mahatma Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Mata. But it's very nice. Put it in the group actually. So
Yes.
chat
Yes.
will be lost, but group will be there. So very nice little poem I heard many years ago. But it's very, very nice. So when we go there, others will be shocked on us.
Yeah. So he ends it by saying, judge not.
Judge not. Yes. It's difficult, but if we practice, we meditate on it, just correct ourselves as much as possible. We are not authority. That service is not given to us to correcting the whole world. Parthi Mataji, when Chitraketu Maharaj said to Lord Shiva, in the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, he says, Lord Shiva is having Mata Parthi in the lab while speaking. We know the past time, not go. But Parthi Mata said the same line. She said, is he being given the job by Hari, by Lord Hari, to correct everyone else, including Lord Shiva? She said, valid point. Huh? You do your business. Once Prabhupada was asked why Lord Shiva was having Parthi Mata on the lap. So you know what Prabhupada said in response? None of your business. Prabhupada said that. You don't even have eligibility to ask the question what Lord Shiva is doing. He is Lord Shiva. He can do anything, right? What eligibility you have to understand why Lord Shiva was doing certain way. He is Lord Shiva. He can do it. Huh? He is more than Avadut. So we don't even have eligibility to ask the question, and we judge the personality. Just imagine, we don't even eligibility to ask that question. And we are trying to judge them. Oh, maybe Lord Shiva was not correct. Achha. Parthi Mata said very well, is Lord Hari appointed this person, Chitraketu, to correct everyone in the three words? She was right. Now, obviously, she perceived differently, but the point which she made is valid. We should at least apply on ourselves. We don't have authority. If we can do a little devotion ourselves, that itself is great. We are taking take off everyone else as well. Are you doing right? Are you doing right? Are you doing right? Who's asking you? That's why they say, many times our so-called assistance is taken as an interference. We think we are assisting this Vaishnava in his life or her life. Actually, it's taken as interference. Why are you interfering with my life? I didn't ask you this. Prabhu was trying to help you. Prabhu asked your help. Now, no one says these words. Guru Maharaj gave one lecture one day. I remember this similar thing. He said, when we see someone, we say, Hare Krishna, how are you? But in the mind, we might be thinking, Ye kyun aa gaya? Why he has come to my house? And, we may not say it. We say, oh, Prabhu, please come, sit down. Kyun aa gaya? Where he's going to go? All that thing. So he said, it's... Huh? So some devotees, I don't read the heart and I am very happy. That's what Guru Maharaj said. It's good we don't read the minds. Maharaj was saying, if we start reading the mind, what you'll read in the mind? You cat. You'll say, you dog. That's what mind is saying. But on the Zaban, and we should be very respectful, Hare Krishna. So it's great actually. We don't read each other's mind because we don't have that capacity. It saves us. It saves us. Oh, we'll be fighting like cats and dogs. So how can you think about me like this? I'm so great. Anyway, nice. Let's move forward. Nice principles. 237. Now where were we? Sometimes this changes. I have to recalculate. Okay, Priya Mataji, your next one. Somehow it was different earlier. Would you like to do 237, Priya Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Sorry, I was a little late. Do I need to read the translation?
Mataji, just the translation. And were you there in the previous class, Mataji?
No, Prabhu, sorry, I was not.
Okay, then maybe we'll take someone who was present last week in the last class. Okay, Raki Mataji has done. Sumendra Mataji, Hare Krishna, were you there on previous class?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. No, I wasn't there, Prabhuji. I'm sorry, but I can read the translation, Prabhuji.
But we need the main
Oh,
points.
yes, yes, that's true.
We have Ujjwalas Mataji and Ras Prabhu. Any one of you can say a few good points about 237.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Translation: O son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up with determination and fight. So basically, again, Krishna is encouraging Arjuna to perform his Swadharma, which is to fight and not to quit the battlefield. So basically here it is, he is explaining that two things can happen. Either you will be killed or you will win in the battle. So either way, if you are killed, then because you are doing your Kshatriya duty, you will attain heavenly kingdom and you will be able to enjoy that. And even though, and if you don't get killed, if you win, even then you will be able to enjoy the riches of the war, whatever kingdom you win. So it's a win-win situation. So there is no loss basically for you either way. So just get up and fight with determination.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. So Krita Nishchaya is very important with determination. Many times we do certain actions just for the sake of doing it. Like many times when we go to the work Monday morning, do we want to go after a busy weekend? Definitely not. I don't like going. But you have to go. You have to go and sit there in front of your team and boss. Just show that you are very interested in working. You're absolutely not. That's not Krita Nishchaya. Huh? So here when Krishna is saying Yuddhaya Krita Nishchaya, so we say, okay, Yuddha karenge Nishchaya se. Yuddha means fight, disagreements, quarrels. Quarrels we do with good determination. No, actually what does Yuddhaya refers to here? Yuddhaya is the prescribed duty of this person, this is Arjuna. Our prescribed duty, maybe, looking after the kids, looking after the house or cooking or whatever it is, maybe gardening for Krishna, whatever it is. Whatever prescribed duties we have as per our Varna and Ashrama, we do it with Krita Nishchaya. An example I gave of Bhishma Pitama last week. Bhishma Pitama was also fighting. Arjuna is also fighting. Who is fighting with Nishchaya? Arjuna. Bhishma Pitama fighting with Krita Nishchaya. His heart is not there in fight. He is doing his duty. That's fine. Dronacharya also doing his duty, especially Bhishma Pitama. Not interested in fighting, especially killing Pandavas. He's not interested. He's doing it. So Krita Nishchaya is very important. We should accept our duties with heart, not just for the sake of doing it. And that is very important. So Hatava Praptasi Swargam, Jatvava Mokshase Mahim. So one more important point. Why Krishna is talking about going to Swargaloka here?
Because in the previous chapter, when Arjuna said his decision, that if I fight, I may not go to Swarga, or I may not.
I'll go to hell. Narake Niyatam Vaso Bhakti Tini Anushrama. I've heard from superior that I will go and reside in hell.
Yes.
Niyatam Vaso.
Even after winning the riches, that I will incur the thing. So in contrast, that Arjuna is saying that you either will go to Swarga because you will die, you are going to die in the battlefield, or also you will get your kingdom back that you are entitled. Yeah. So it's a win-win situation.
Thank you, Mataji. So it's just the response of not the sinful reaction, but it's the response of enjoyment tendency. So he wanted to enjoy. So he said, you will enjoy, you'll get earthly kingdom, or you'll go to Swarga, you will enjoy either way. Okay. Thank you, Khandasa Prabhu. We'll go to 38. Mataji, would you like to do?
Do thou fight for the sake of fighting without considering happiness or distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat, and by so doing you shall never incur sin. Now this section from 2.38, the next section, which is the Buddhi Yoga, starts. Up until now it was the section of Karma Kanda. So this is obviously a higher level.
Yes.
And in this, Krishna is giving Arjuna the understanding about why he should fight from a higher perspective. So he tells him about that he should fight as a sake of duty, he should not be considering the happiness or distress or the loss or gain or victory or defeat. So these dualities of life are always there, and he should remain equipoised and do his duty and do not be disturbed. And if he does so, if he does his duty, his occupational duty as a Kshatriya, then he shall not incur sin. So that is the understanding of this verse.
Yes, and this is also the response of where Arjuna was scared about his sinful reactions. I'll get a lot of sinful reactions. He's saying, Naivam papam avapsasi. You will not receive sinful reactions. Why? So one thing Mataji said, Jalasa Mataji, that prescribed duty, he's following his prescribed duty. That's one part. And the second, as she's saying, it's a deeper level. Same kratva. Same means equipoised. You are doing your prescribed duty, and while doing prescribed duty, what will happen? Sometimes sukha will come, sometimes dukha will come. It will just happen. As Prabhupada gives example of Mataji cooking in the kitchen in May, June. In India, it's very, very lot of heat is there, lot of summer season is there. But Mataji is cooking. Sometimes sukha will be there, sometimes dukha will be there. But she is doing her duty, and she is very happy about it. Labha, sometimes will get some benefit, sometimes will not get some loss will happen. Sometimes you'll be victorious, sometimes you will be defeated. But you are sama. That is very important. Now, this is also very difficult thing to do, but Bhagavad Gita will use, see, repeatedly will say about this word, sama, sama, sama. Why sama? Because in the material world, this is inevitable to not get these things. You cannot expect sukha all the time. Rather, someone was saying, there's a movie in Hindi, I've not seen it, but Thodi Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum. Is that movie is there? Whoever has watched it, anyway, I'm not recommending that, but I'm just talking about the title here. So Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum. So Prabhuji was saying, it's not Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum. It's bahut sara gum and thodi khushi. A lot of gum, lot of sad situations are there with everyone. Thoda sa khushi sometime, a drop of it. So that's our situation. So we should be some in that. So sometimes sukha will come. We should not become very proud. Yeah, I got the success. I won this match, or I won the lottery. I'm a CEO, whatever. Yeah, you are a CEO today. Maharaj says, today you are Karodpati, tomorrow you are Roadpati. So Karodpati to Roadpati, how long does it take? A slap of nature. In 1 second, you'll be out on the road. So what's the pride there anyway? We are temporary caretaker wherever we are. So Same word is very important. And that's why Tato Yuddhaya Ijjasva. So if we do that prescribed duty, in this case it's a Yuddha, in our case it may be different. Naivam Papam Opposite. Then you should not worry about the sinful reaction. One more example comes to my mind. You're going for shopping of veggies, for example, and you're going to cook for Krishna. You may kill some ants or some other living entities while you are going to the shop. You're walking, it may happen, you don't want it. Are you getting sinful reactions? Yes or no? Nahi pata. Yes. Mahasa Prabhu, yes. You'll get your neutralized. Mataji, no. Yes. Okay. So it's up to Krishna how he gets it back. Okay. Thank you. Consciously, we are not doing it. That's the important point. I saw a cheaty here. No one is there. Step on it, huh? You know, whatever fighting happened in the house, put all the anger on this little pretty ant because you can't express in the house. So no, not like that. If you are doing any action, and that action can be a pious action as well. Forget about impious. In the pious action, if you're doing consciously for the sake of piety, you'll get the result back, which we don't want. We'll talk about in 4th chapter, but here the consciousness matters. Your intention matters. My intention was to kill the ant or not to kill the ant. My intention was not to kill the ant, but it happened on the way of doing my seva. These things are out of the realm of sinful reactions. Now, in some cases, okay, some clearly mentioned that how it will come back to us. Sometimes Krishna may decide a different path. That's a different thing. But you'll not incur sin while you're performing. You're working in the kitchen, for example, or you're doing jharu pocha in the house. Some living entities may be living their life. While you're doing for Krishna's ashram, you don't get simple reactions here. But sometimes the path which Krishna will show on that living entity might be a little different. But that's not a prakriti, the natural sinful action reaction process. Master Prabhu has a question.
You said that any mistake that we do, right, whether it is moving and it's like fire, right?
Yes.
A fire, even if it touches with the same reaction, even as
Yes.
how come this one is not?
Because
That is the reason I said yes.
yes, yes, no, you're right in one sense. So, but because you are acting as a Krishna's devotee, internally I'm talking, as I said, it's an intentional thing. Huh? It's not about external thing. External thing, Krishna is saying to Arjuna, even if you kill everyone, you'll not get any sinful reactions. Now, killing a human, 64 crore human, he's going to kill in 18 days. Oh, I'm talking about end. Huh? No, no. So he's doing for the pleasure of the Lord. That's the whole idea. If you're doing that activity for the pleasure of Lord, you're doing jhadu in this room for the pleasure of the Lord, then you're out of the sinful reactions. And even if you get it, that's why I'm sorry, completing my sentence. Even if you get it, 1866, I'll take care of it. You understand? Even if that's why 1866. Even if you get it, it's not you'll get it. Even if you get it, or you think you'll get it, I'll take care of it. So you don't have to worry about that part. You do this part. How I'm going to please my deities, how I'm going to please my guru. That's all you have to worry about. Everything else on the way, positive, negative, it will be taken care by our authorities. That's why we are free. तो सिर्फ हाथ चलाना है. सारा काम.
But actually it's not in Krishna consciousness, but it's a daily action.
Yes.
Right? It is just a karma, not a karma yoga. Then in that situation, you are bound to whatever happens, then you want to react.
Even good actions also. You do some good thing for some poor people, you get good reaction. Okay, Priya Mataji has a question.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Actually, I just wanted to ask in regards to this verse here. Earlier it said like the Arjuna was like he reasoned earlier that fighting the battle would cause him to suffer these sinful reactions. So here Krishna is explaining that no sin will be occurred because he's executing his duty in the proper consciousness. So when we execute our duty in the proper consciousness, can this example be given if sometimes devotees are concerned when they are doing like some work, when they are working and their work involves some sort of like they're in their like some sort of sinful sort of action in terms of like say they're working where there is meat handling involved or some sort of selling of tobacco, drugs or something in a cigarette company or shop. So like I'm just saying that if they are executing this duty but they are doing it in a way that's going to have to support their family, if that's their sole job, then is that still proper consciousness?
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Very nice question. So basically, if I understood the question correctly, sometimes devotees have to work in a place which involves something which we consider from devotional standards as abominable, like meat handling, tobacco, or something like that. So does the devotee get the reaction or no in that sort of situation? That's the question, Mataji? Okay, so it's a very good question. It's a very practical day-to-day life question because not everyone has this luxury to work in a place which is completely pure. Many times, even if a company, I'm not involved, maybe my company is involved, a certain part of the company is involved in doing something wrong thing. So do we get the reaction? So Mataji, the answer for us is yes. Because our consciousness at this stage is not purely to please Krishna, it is to please ourselves as well. And we have to be honest about it, isn't it? When we are earning money, is it purely for Krishna? Be honest. Yeah, we offer to Krishna, that's one thing. It's not purely for Krishna's pleasure. It's hamara bhi kuch hai. We also are a little selfish in that. I want a better car or better house. I can sleep in studio apartment as well, but I may need a better facility. So our swath is also there. So to the degree your swath or a devotee swath is there, selfish desires are attached in that activity, to that degree, he will incur sinful reactions. This is very, very clear. 4.11 is very important verse. It says to the degree. It's not a digital thing, switch on or switch off. It's nothing like that. It's analog. It grows. That's why we are called neophyte devotee. Right now, I can talk to myself, neophyte devotee. Neophyte devotee means who is just entering into devotional life, knows little bit about it, but his consciousness is not purely for Krishna's pleasure. He's following rules and regulations. He's trying, he's making mistake and all that thing. And that's many of us, if not all of us, many of us. So we are in that category of neophyte devotee. Are we devotee? Very difficult to say, but neophyte devotee, yes, we are neophyte devotee. Once Bhakti Bharat Maharaja was asked this question, he gave a class. He was not sannyasi that time. He was a brahmachari. He was known as Devamrit Prabhu. He gave a nice class on 3 types of Uttamadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, and Kanishadhikari. So I remember this audio I heard maybe 20 years ago. So when Mataji asked after the class, so who are you? Basically, you're Uttamadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, or Kanishad. That's what our intention was. And maybe with good intentions, he asked. So Maharaj said, I'm a struggling sadhaka. Maharaj is telling this. I am a struggling sadhaka, not even a sadhaka. Sometimes we call ourselves a devotee, and sometimes someone calls us a senior devotee. It's a serious business. Devotee itself is a serious business. It's not a casual word which we use around for anyone and everyone. I'm a devotee. Why? You're chanting 16 hours, that's why you're a devotee? Are you initiated? That's why you're a devotee? You're wearing kanti marais, that's why you're a devotee? That's not the definition of devotion. It's some external symptoms of a devotee. It's not a devotee. Devotee is recognized by his heart. Should have 26 qualities. Don't even know 26 qualities. What to speak of having them? And then someone calls us senior Vaishnava. Wow, that's a big word. Anyway, many examples are there with Prabhupada, how Prabhupada crushed this phenomena of being a devotee and then a senior devotee. Prabhupada crushed to his disciples again and again and again. So we should be very careful in it. For others, we should call devotee. I'm not saying that, right? This is talking about ourselves. All we are discussing mostly should be applicable for us. So what we do, Bhakti Maharaj says, in ISKCON, we are very good in telling others what to do. In ISKCON, we are very good in telling others what to do. But it's not about you, it's about me. So everything we discuss in the class, most of the time, it should be applicable for our improvement, not for others' improvement. We are taking care of the whole world. No, just take care of yourself. Very nice what you have forgotten. Mataji, is that right?
Yeah, Prabhuji, I'm just concerned now because
okay.
Yeah, because I guess I was myself involved in for a few years, so I was dealing with meat handling and all that. So I was just wondering whether how will then we can surpass that.
We'll read that today, Mataji. Anything in the past which a person has done before becoming a devotee. Again, I'm not saying devotee on 20th September 2019 you become a devotee, but Krishna takes care of it. So you should not over worry about your past at all. All we should worry about our present. How I'm dealing myself and with others presently. Am I dutifully doing my duty? And my consciousness is correct? That's all we can do. Past we can't change. Many Prabhupada disciples have taken drugs and alcohol and meat and whatnot. Now they became guru. They became guru of thousands of Vaishnavas. So past we should not worry at all. And no one, actually Shastra says, if someone asks a question about a devotee's past, actually he's offending a devotee. We don't even have a right to ask the devotee's past. Oh, in the past you used to drink alcohol. Actually, I'm offending just by this statement. I'm offending the devotee. He is not supposed to answer me technically. Before even he answers, the question itself is invalid. It's an invalid question. I'm not supposed to say that. So, Mataji, you are free. As per Shastra, you should not worry. All you should worry about today and tomorrow. How I can make myself and my loved ones, my family, and other people in Krishna consciousness as much as possible. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, I was going to say something, but I forgot, but that's good. Yes. It's in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mataji. You can just Google it. Ask Maharaj. He already has it. Many of them. In a higher degree. I can't say 100% because I'm not myself eligible. So Google 26 qualities of devotee, Chaitanya Charitamrita. I saw one more hand. Okay, no hand. I'm happy. Let's move forward. 238. So it's big verses actually. What can we are not doing justice, but we have to move. 239. Yeah. Charu Mataji, thank you for taking a different direction. And someone else also said some nice thing. I forgot. I think Ujjwalasa Mataji was telling about the section. So thank you, Mataji. So this is the division of the section. We are going in a deeper direction here. So Krishna has spoken about compassion argument. Which verses covers the compassion argument of Arjuna? The verse numbers. It's not going to come in the exam. I'm just asking. So you're no compassion. 211 to 230. Huh? So compassion for the body is not needed in that stage. Right now, compassion for the body is needed. We're talking. So the context is very, very important. So we cannot take the things just out of the context. We cannot say, oh, compassion for the body is not needed. I've read in Bhagavad Gita, so I kill everyone. No, that's not the point. The context in that which is said is very important. Second argument was enjoyment. How I will enjoy without my relatives. So Krishna says, Hatava prapsi sargam. What is it? Thank you, Rupam Prabhuji. See, so even if you die or you don't die, in either situation, you will enjoy. So that's the second section. Now, the third section we are talking from 238 onwards. Which argument of Arjuna is going to counter? Anyone? Sinful reactions. Thank you. And one or two verses in the previous section also Krishna spoke about the fear of sinful reaction should not be there. Okay, 239. Who is there? Next one. Rupam Prabhuji.
Thus far, I have described this knowledge to you through analytical study. Now listen as I explain it in terms of working without fruitive results. O son of Pritha, when you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of works. So this is, as we discussed last time, the first or the starting point of Buddhi Yoga, where Krishna describes what is Buddhi Yoga. And as you mentioned, Buddhi and Yoga. Buddhi is intelligence and Yoga is connecting with Krishna. So when we use our intelligence to connect with Krishna, then this happens that you are free from your bondage of work. Your whatever we do, and I think this is what we were discussing just 5 minutes ago, that your the sinful reactions that we are supposed to get kind of normalize it. Then we talked about the element of jnana and vijnana. So having knowledge is one thing, but applying that in our day-to-day life is another thing. So we saw the example that a lot of people are aware that alcohol drinking is not good, but not many actually are able to apply that in their life, and they get indulged into addiction. So having that sort of intelligence that, you know, alcohol is bad and also drinking is absolutely prohibited. That should be the intention. That's
one more thing. And the first line, Prabhuji, it says Esha te vihita sankhya. So far I have explained you through sankhya. What does sankhya mean? Analytical study. What does this sankhya mean? Garna, ginna, counting. So far I've explained you the Sankhya Yoga. Very light, obviously. In Bhagavad Gita, you get a lot more details in Bhagavatam. So we're analyzing, you're not the body, you're the soul, basically, which we have analyzed. Now I'm starting a new Buddhi Yoga section. Thank you, Prabhuji. So what's the first glorification of Buddhi Yoga? Krishna mentions Karma Bandham Prahasyasi. So Priya Mataji was mentioning about the past situation, but Mataji here's the verse telling Karma Bandham Prahasyasi. So if you use your Buddhi Yoga, or anyone use the Buddhi Yoga to achieve Krishna, all the Karma Bandhan are already gone, whether good or bad. Deenbandhu Prabhu, one Prabhupada disciple, very, very senior disciple. He lives in Vrindavan, many of you would know. So one day he was taking parikrama in Vrindavan. So the party arrived at Jamna Ji. So they were taking part in Jamna Ji, obviously, as well. So Deenbandhu Prabhu said very nice thing. While most of the devotees were in the water of Jamna Ji, he said, what's the difference between Ganga and Jamna? And there are many answers to this question, many answers. One of the answers which he gave in this particular context, he said, in Ganga, when you take bath, all your sinful reactions are gone. And that is true. And many acharyas have proved this. Just by taking bath in Ganga, your sinful reactions go away. But when you take bath in Jamuna, not only your sinful reaction, your pious reactions also go away. And half of the crowd came out of the water. We don't have much pious reactions anyway, but by taking bath in Jamuna, your sinful as well as pious reactions goes away. Pious reactions means you have a good job, good family, good health, good house, That also goes away. Who likes to lose all this? Anyone here? Would you like to lose your good health, wealth, reputation? Yeah, action, reaction we are talking. Yeah, there's no spiritual reaction there. Spiritual is only action. So,
It is nice.
huh?
It is the best thing.
It's the best thing, but would you like to do that? Be honest. Be honest. How many of us would like to lose our pieties? Be honest. I don't. I'm scared. I'm being very honest here. I'm scared. I don't have that courage.
We would like it
After, yeah, we're talking about right now, huh? With a clause. Krishna doesn't give that option. His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj said very nicely. Unfortunately, Maya doesn't give us the which misery would you like? Option A, option B, option C, option D. You'll say the least one. Maybe option D is the least one. Just give me option D. Maharaj said, whatever you least expect, that will come to your life. Whatever you least, this should not happen to me. Anything else is fine, Krishna, but not this one. This too much for me. Maharaj said, the least expected misery will come to you. But when it comes to a devotee, we should feel fortunate. We should feel fortunate because Krishna is arranging my purification. You should not get frustrated. You should feel fortunate. But it's not easy. Be honest, it's not easy. So half of the crowd came out of the water. They're not ready. They're not ready. Sinful reactions, acha hai. All gone, very good. But pious reactions, I lose my house, I lose my health, I lose my reputation. How many of us would like to do that? We don't have courage. I don't have. So it's very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. So simple to laugh at, but difficult to follow it. Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Material piety. Yes, yes, definitely. No. Spiritual piety, that's the next verse, Prabhuji. That's what we're talking. Spiritual piety is never lost. Okay, let's move to the next one. Rupa Prabhu already gave me a clue. Prabhu, get on to the next one.
Can I ask?
Yes, Mataji.
Maybe it's a stupid question, but you know how Arjuna's doubts are relating dharma. Every doubt is relating to the right action to be taken. It's fear, compassion, So, but Krishna's answer is always in terms of yoga. So in this particular verse, he talks of Sankhya Yoga, he talks of Buddhi Yoga, he talks of one more yoga, I think. So in fact, if we look at the whole chapters, all 18 chapters, they are yoga of this, yoga of this, yoga of this. So how are the two related? And I kind of know the answer, but I will not be able to articulate it if someone were to ask me this question.
So Mataji's question is, Arjuna is also talking about dharma, which is true. Arjuna is talking about his Kula Dharma, he's talking about his ancestors, he's talking about dharma. There's no problem with that. Arjuna arguments are wrong. Are they wrong? They're not wrong. They're completely valid argument. But Krishna's arguments are wrong. They're opposite. Many times, isn't it? Don't fight. He's saying fight. It's exactly opposite. The action is exactly opposite. Arjuna's arguments are correct. Krishna's argument cannot be incorrect, but the action is exactly opposite. So Mataji's question, how do you put these things together? Is that the question, Mataji?
It's dharma versus yoga.
Yes, Mataji. So yoga is also dharma.
Oh, how? Because Krishna is saying, Krishna talks in terms of yoga, and Arjuna talks in terms of dharma. So how do we link those two together, and what is the connection?
Thank you, Mataji. It's a very nice question. So the connection is, when we're talking about yoga, we are already talking about which level, not talking about bodily yoga. Bodily yoga we see in, there's many, if you type yoga schools in Sydney, you'll get, 30,000 results. How many schools are doing it? So many private contractors are doing it. So beer yoga. Rupa Prabhu just mentioned there's a beer yoga as well. Hare Krishna. Okay, nice. So what different types of yogas are possible, we cannot even imagine. But they exist. So suppose we don't take beer yoga, for example, we just take this normal yoga, which is a bodily yoga, body asanas we call it. So they are valid, but they are, we read in 6th chapter, we'll get there. They're the part of the external bodily yoga, which is the beginning of the actual yoga which Krishna is talking. So we have certain bodily postures which calms our mind, and then when our mind is calm, then we can think about absolute truth, divine truth. If mind is completely agitated, it's very hard to think. Prabhupada once was asked why, when we give this knowledge to others, like many people around the world, why don't they get this knowledge? It's so simple. We are not the body, we are the soul. We should not hurt others, otherwise simple reactions will come. It's very simple. Prabhupada's answer was, at one time at least, he said, because they are simply dull-headed people. They eat meat, they are dull-headed people. Because of overeating meat and alcohol and all that, this cannot understand the simple thing. It's so simple actually, But he said they are dull-headed people. So many times we just don't understand the knowledge. Anyway, so these yogas which exist outside, they are the beginning of the ladder, and there's the end of the ladder which Krishna is talking here. So Mataji is just asking, how do you put Arjuna's argument, which is also dharma? So there are different types of dharma. So there's one called Lokik Dharma. There's something called Parlokik Dharma. Lokik Dharma means in the world where we live in, we have a dharma. We may be a father or a mother or a worker or brother, sister, teacher, whatever our designation may be. That's Lokik Dharma, and we follow those duties sincerely, very, very sincerely. And Manusmriti is filled with that Lokik Dharma. There's something called Parlokik Dharma. Parlokik Dharma, which does not just belong to the body, it belongs to the owner of the body. Owner of the body is Dehi or Sharirinaha, the soul. Soul also has dharma. So how should we perform our Lokik Dharma? Which is ideally is aligned with the Parlokik Dharma. So everyone has to eat. We cannot live without eating. You eat. Eating is no problem. We actually overeat. But what do we eat? Krishna Prasad. Yesterday we went out, somewhere out in the rocks. We were eating lots of Krishna Prasad. We did not buy anything. We did not give in anything else. But we ate a lot of Krishna Prasad. We want to sleep, no problem. You can sleep. You're sleeping for Krishna so that your body is fresh. You can get up and do service to Krishna. You need some money to survive for this body. No problem. You can work in Krishna consciousness. So all these things which we talk about, which looks very simple, actually they belong to the soul. And we align our bodily dharma in terms of soul dharma. And we follow everything in that sense. We want to have pizza for the kids. No problem. We can make better pizzas than Pizza Hut or Domino's. No? We literally have better pizzas, better ice creams, and better everything. So all these things which Krishna is talking here, and Prabhupada is writing our dovetail. So we dovetail our spiritual duties we dovetail our material duties into our spiritual duties. So that way we can put both things together, and that way our body is also well taken care of. Even Krishna says in 9th chapter, Yoga Shema Vahami Aham. So when Krishna is talking about that, what Krishna is saying, I will take care of your body, whatever is necessity of the body, I'll take care of it. And whatever you have, I'll protect it. That is on the bodily level. But at the same time, what Krishna is leading towards is the goal of the soul. So don't get too much popped up with the body. Sometimes bodily things has to be given up. That time you give up the bodily things and you rise above the body. Is that okay, Sharmataji? Okay.
So yoga is basically converting your normal dharma in this in the earthly realm into something that is.
You're locking dharma into paralocking dharma. You're treating your kids. It's not my kids, it's Krishna's kids. And actually you're taking care of them better because Krishna's property is very important. So instead of just thinking, I am the owner, Krishna is the owner. He has given me a beautiful service. I will do as best as possible. And then things may go beyond our control. That time, I'll pray to Krishna. Krishna, you do the best. It's not in my hands. So that way, we are out of anxiety. We are doing actually better duty, better love, better care for ourselves and for others as well. And then we leave everything to Krishna. Radheshyam Prabhu says, you do the best, leave the rest. You do your best. But we are simple humans. How much control we have. And then you leave the rest to that supreme controller, and he will do the best, definitely. Okay? Yes.
You do the best and let Lord do the rest.
Let Lord do the rest. Yeah. Or leave the rest.
Never leave it.
Huh?
Actually, you should let the Lord do the rest. Because if the Lord who is actually the, he was connecting this word, this statement with the Brahmaji prayers. When we say that, where it says, very famous. Ishvara Brahma Krishna Satchidananda Vika Anadir Adi Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. So he was saying that when we do it, we do it. It's not that we don't do it. We should do the best. But then we should not leave it. We should let Krishna do the rest. Because he's actually the Sarva Karana. So we should have faith in him that he is going to do everything best for us. Because he is Sarva Karana. That's how we continue.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very, very nice. Okay, thank you, Mata. And let's move forward to 240. We are 240. Okay, who has not done as yet? We have Amar Prabhu and Kanishka Mataji. Hare Krishna. Nice.
Hare Krishna Guru.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So the important 240 verse is for you.
Yeah, it's translation. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminutions, and a little advancement in this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Over here, Krishna is basically giving another characteristic of Buddhi Yoga. What is that can happen when you do the Buddhi Yoga is even the little bit of advancement in there never goes waste. As you explained in the spiritual life, whatever we do in the spiritual life over here, that does go with us in our subtle body, and in the soul takes it with it. Everything else we leave it over here. But the advancement, even a little advancement in the devotional service, we will be taken with us, and in our next life we will start from that itself, and it will grow. Everything else will diminish, but other than the spiritual life will never diminish. And the other thing in Buddhi, in this Krishna is explaining is, if you do this kind of yoga, you will be protected from the most dangerous fear. And the most dangerous fear for human life is to take birth again and die, and go take birth again and die and be in this cycle and not get out of the bondage.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice, especially the last part. Mahato Bhaya. Mahato Bhaya, Prabhuji, very nicely explained. Taking birth again and again and again and again. This is Mahato Bhaya, the greatest fear we have. Loss of money, loss of health, and here and there. It's all right. It's not the big deal, but taking birth again and again. Thank you, Prabhuji. Just one more thing. Manish, Prabhuji, is related to this verse, the previous verse, your hand.
Prabhu, for this verse.
Okay. Maybe we'll just complete our thoughts and then we'll take it. Is that okay?
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. So, before we do this verse, what is this verse signifying? So, Prabhuji very nicely explained, Amar Prabhu. This,
one good thing you explained in terms of
yeah, we'll come to it. Sorry, Prabhuji. Just what's the context of this verse? Just look at the context and then we'll get the meaning. Why
Krishna is glorifying this path of Buddhi Yoga.
Thank you. This is the glorification of Buddhi Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. So previously, what was the glorification? Karma Bandham Prahasyasi. So you don't have to worry about your Karma Bandham. That's very nice. Now, what happened to it right now? What happens if I leave my body and all those questions come? He says, Neha Vikarmana Shastri Pratyavaya. This is a glorification of Buddhi Yoga. Another verse for the glorification. 41 is also glorification. Within that glorification, obviously, as Amar Prabhu nicely explained. Now, we discussed two parts here. So this obviously referring to Bhakti part. Salpam, even if you do a very, very small Bhakti, Salpam Apasya Dharma. So here Dharma refers to source Dharma, not a bodily Dharma, which we was talking earlier, source Dharma. So Bhakti account, Pratyavayo Navidate, no diminution. That means the Bhakti account is undepletable and undeletable. Undepletable means it never can be spent by anyone. Even Brahmaji cannot steal your Bhakti credit. He cannot. He's very powerful. We are very, very small. He cannot steal your Bhakti credits. If you have chanted Hare Krishna, you have done some devotional act for some devotee or the Lord, no one can steal that. And no one can press the delete button. Our bank account, it's possible. No one likes that, but it's possible. One day we open up CBA Combank app. What happens? Bank doesn't exist. best pack done. It's possible. It's possible, not possible. Hack the money. Someone can hack the money. You try the password, your account is locked, and you go to the bank and branch. You said, "Prabhu, you took all the money out. You didn't have much anyway, but you took it out. What are you going to do? Fight in the court for 3 years? All that. So it's possible. Bhakti account is undeletable. No one can hack it. No one can hack it. The best hackers of the world cannot hack it.
Prabhu, this is real life insurance.
Real life insurance. Actually, Mataji was in insurance, so perfect word. And also, there's a word used in the Jagannath Street, afterlife insurance. And also real life, even in this life. Prabhupada was asked once by a reporter, a Western world reporter, and said, Prabhupada and all your disciples, all these devotees are chanting Hare Krishna, and they're going crazy. What if Krishna does not exist? You know what Prabhupada's response was? Even if Krishna does not exist, just even if Krishna does not, we are living the best life, eating best food, eating the best buildings with best people, best dress. We are living everything, best music. We are actually very happy. While even forget Krishna, right? We are happy. We are happy. We don't have so much anxiety. We may have some here and there, but we're not so much in anxiety. Actually, we are living a very healthy, happy life. We get up early and we do the right thing. We are happy. But what if Krishna exists? What will happen to you? We should turn the question around. See, we are going to go back to God. And what happens to you? And she was completely shocked. She has no answer. What if Krishna? See, for us, even if Krishna doesn't exist, if he died like you, no problem. We are living very nice life. Best idlis, best pizzas, best dosas, and best people, best association. What if Krishna exists? What will happen to you? That's it. No more questions. Prabhupada was so good. Oh, replying to these sort of questions. You cannot. Wow. See? Amazing. Okay, Manish Prabhuji, Manon Prabhuji, he has a question.
So again, not judging anyone, there are a lot of so-called saints in India who are like kind of cheating the innocent people. They are still telling them to do the right thing by chanting the holy name, doing all the right thing, but they themselves are not following. So in this process, they are doing some sukriti, although their main motive is to cheat and their material benefits. They might be even going to dham. So does this principle apply to them as well? Because they've done at least some sukrit. Like 99% is, material gain. 1% maybe unknown sukriti, which they did not really mean to do, but they have done it. So that's the first part. And then second is, while a devotee is trying to practice, and if he falls down, does this principle still apply to them? Like even if he has fallen down?
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice. I'll just repeat the question. So in India or elsewhere in the world, there are many cheaters as well, fake religionists, fake transcendentalists are there. And they do some Ram Nam, they do some good things, at least externally, but internally they are money minded, or they want their fame, they want their followers. What will happen to them? And second question is, if someone does it for a long time, not Salpam Apyasya, Visharam Apyasya, a very, very long time, but he does not complete, what happens? So I'll answer the second one first, because given in Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, Arjuna will ask the same question what Manohar Prabhu has asked. What happens to a yogi who has practiced for a long time, but he could not complete? Suppose he did 80% devotion and he left his body. What happens to them? So Krishna responds that in, I think, 643. Suchi Nam Shirtam Gehe Yog Bhrishto Vijayate. So he takes birth in Suchi, Pavitra, Brahman, Vaishnava family. Yoga Bhrishto Vijayate. One who has done yoga, practiced yoga for a long period, he will take birth in Suchi Nam Shrimatam, and in a wealthy family where he doesn't have to struggle for the meals and all that. So that's the second question. The second and the first one is, do these fake transcendentalists also get some piety? Answer is yes. But the problem is, they do get some piety. Krishna does not override any time for any soul where he is chanting Ram Nam or doing something good. But because, as you said, 99% what they're doing is wrong. And that is also the case in many cases. So the reactions of those 99% comes over on them first before they get the action of the 1%. Because the intention of that Ram Nam was also wrong. Now, Another question I can also ask, a good discussion point. We are also trying to do right thing, but many times, knowingly or unknowingly, all of us, we do the wrong thing. We all know that. We don't have to mention that, but sometimes knowingly also. We know this is against Krishna consciousness, but we do that. What happens to us? We know this is wrong, and many times unknowingly as well, we do the wrong thing. Huh? What happens to us? Our intentions are correct, actually. We don't want name, fame, money. We are not come in this moment for that purpose. That's for sure. Our goal is pure. But while we are proceeding towards goal, marching towards the goal, knowingly or unknowingly, we are making mistakes. Is that question clear? What happens to us? That's a good point. We are in the Hare Krishna. So Mataji has given a shortcut, go to India, dip in Ganga and come back. Okay. Oh no, you don't have to go to India. Prabhu has given the mantra. Mantra Snan, another thing. That's one. What happens to our offenses, Mataji? Simple reactions is all right. Can be well taken care of by Krishna as well. Guru will do it. What happens to our offenses? Knowingly or unknowingly? Very good. Yep. Yep. You can ask for forgiveness, yes?
In offenses, there are two. One is one offense which is not forgiven by Krishna. It's actually right. Apart from that, any other offense that you do, it is forgiven, but it is forgiven in the sense that you actually don't have the intention. And that's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 2.9, 2.8, where he says that as long as even if you have made for devotee, it's forgiven. As long as one has the intention to glorify himself in the process of bhakti, he is forgiven. But Vaishnava Aparadha is one offense that is not forgiven.
So the main point which I was trying to bring it up, intention should not be there. Intention is the main thing. Actions may be right or wrong because we are weak by nature. So far we are weak. We are not so strong. So we are weak devotees, struggling devotees. We will make mistakes knowingly or unknowingly. But our intention should not be to hurt someone or say something or do something which is inappropriate. After that, we ask for forgiveness and we try to do the right thing as much as possible.
But then fell down, and I think knowingly, unknowingly, in both ways, he committed a lot of offenses. But again, unknowingly, he chanted Lord's name, and then he was given the opportunity to rectify all this. So,
I can perfectly understand. If the intentions are correct, these people which Manish Prabhu was talking about, Manmohan Prabhu, the intention is not good. They're still doing Ram Nam, so some benefit will be there, but the 99% activity which they had done, they will override them at least for some time. Is it okay, Manmohan Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Yes.
Kunchurasa Mataji has a question. Hare Krishna, Ujjwala Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah, I was talking about with regards to the offense. So sometimes it may happen that one person is talking to another person and the first person is not trying to be rude at all. He's not trying to be like, he's not offensive. But the second person, being a sensitive person, takes offense at the first person, and the first person is not even aware that he has offended unknowingly the second person. What happens in that case? Because the first person has no idea that the second person has been offended.
Okay, very nice question. A and B, they're talking to each other. A didn't mean anything. He was just normally behaving, but B took something as offense. And A didn't mean to do it. Is that right, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So,
Prabhu, can I just add a point to this? You know, that story about
that's
one
what I
of
was
the
thinking.
okay.
Rupa Goswami.
Yes, Rupa Goswami.
Maybe you can tell.
No, Prabhu, you go ahead.
No, that's fine. Okay, just one thing before you go to that story. The principle should be the B should be a devotee. A is a devotee and B should also be a devotee of Vaishnava. Otherwise, he considering offense does not make any difference because A didn't mean it. Now, if A and B both are devotees, so there's a case study given in Shastra, which Charu Mataji is mentioning, and that's exactly I was thinking. So Rupa Goswami, I'll give this example as I have heard. So Rupa Goswami one day was meditating on Lord's pastime. I'll not go into much detail. We'll read this in NOD when we read there. He was meditating, his eyes closed, and he just laughed because of something. And we'll discuss that later. So because he laughed with closed eyes, a Vaishnava was passing through. He could not walk properly. He was an old, lame man. He could not walk properly. He had problem in his leg. He thought Rupa Goswami is laughing at him. Sometimes it happens in India. Huh? When someone is not with a correct body feature, others may laugh at. So he thought Rupa Goswami is laughing at me. So he just passed by. He felt bad in his heart. Rupa Goswami meditation broke. He was in a Leela of Krishna and he came down and he tried to meditate a lot, but he could not meditate. So he consulted with Sanatana Goswami. What happened? Why my meditation broke on this particular pastime? So Sanatana Goswami says, you have offended a Vaishnava. And Rupa Goswami said, I was doing meditation. Huh? Like how many times we feel like that? Nityananda Maharaj in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Something similar, not exactly same, similar. He was doing his puja, he was doing his meditation. Agast Muni came, Hidrachaya, without invitation, with his disciples, and Bura bhi lag gaya. He hasn't done anything wrong, right? Never said a word. Chitraketu said some word, or he felt bad. In Nityananda Maharaj, he didn't even say a word. He is doing a devotion. And Agastya Muni felt bad. She was sitting like a hathi, become a hathi. Hey Bhagwan. So the point of these examples are very dangerous. Vaishnava dealing is very dangerous. Prabhupada said, when you come close to a Vaishnava, you're dealing with a fire. The fire can cook or fire can burn as well. So if you come too close to the fire, what will happen? You're not only cooking means, you're cooking nice devotional consciousness in your heart. That's very good. Using Hare Krishna mantra, dealing with devotees, serving Vaishnavas, getting their blessing. If you come too close, start seeing their faults, what will happen? It may burn you. Prabhupada also said elsewhere, he said, devotional service is a two-edged sword. You can cut Maya or you can cut your own throat. So it's a two-edged sword. So be very, very careful. Don't be, Sripala Prabhu said in Sydney one lecture very nicely, I just remembered. He said, don't be casual towards devotees, otherwise you will become a casualty. Don't become casual towards devotees. Devotees are very dear to Lord. Huh? Now you should not think I am a devotee. In this case, you should think others are devotee. I'm not a devotee, I'm a rascal. Others are devotee. So you should not behave in devotees in a casual way. Oh, what is this? You're only chanting 4 rounds. You just started yesterday. I'm being a devotee for last 20 years. You never know. This devotee may be a great soul finishing his last life, and you may be beginning in terms of life. You have another 10 million lives to go. You don't know. Even these kids, Prabhupada said, they are Vaikuntha kids. We should deal with them literally as Krishna has personally given us this beautiful gift. You serve them as best as possible, as best as possible. Obviously, rest we don't know, their destiny and where they come from, where they will go and all that. But the point is, we should consider others in a very respectful manner, very, very respectful. Anytime we don't know, if Rupa Prabhu asks me a question, he has read a website. I'm giving a live example. You may feel bad, but it's a live example. He has read a website. He has read some criticism against the sannyasi. He comes and asks me, Prabhu, I read that against that sannyasi on the website. Now in the website, 3 things can happen. The information is completely true, or it's completely false, or it's in the middle bucket, not sure. How many times you can guaranteedly say it's the correct information? 0 times, to be very honest. How do you know about the sannyasi in his whole life? How many times you can say it's 100% wrong? Again, the probability is 0. How many times you can say the B bucket? That means not sure bucket. 99% of the time you will say, Bhaiya, mujhe nahi pata. I do not know what is true, what is not true. Let me do my devotion as per my guru's instruction. Rest of the world you take care. Not my duty. Step back. Fold your hands. Not my duty. I'm not a temple president. I'm not the spiritual authority of this person. What his life is, X, Y, Z. None of my concern. No? When it concerns me, I'll ask my spiritual master what to do. Simple. Hare Krishna. Why you have to get involved in that? No? When did I start?
That was just an example.
Just an example. No, Rupa Prabhu has not said that. It was just an example. He's sitting next to me. He's not reading other websites. Okay, I'll clarify that. It was just an example because he's sitting next to me. He's a good friend of mine. But he has not read anything, he has not asked me any questions like that. Anyway, how did we start on this? That's your job. Dude, Mataji's question. Rupa Goswami, yes, Rupa Goswami and the Vaishnava. So Sanatana Goswami said he opened the Vaishnava. So we should take Vaishnava very, very seriously. I'll not go into the story. Later on, Rupa Goswami apologized with that Vaishnava and then he forgave. He clarified the situation. So it's very serious. That's all I'm saying. It's very serious. You cannot judge a Vaishnava by his external dress, by his external activity. You cannot judge. Is that okay, Mataji?
Yes, thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Today's class is just a revision class, huh? That's okay. That's all right. Last week I pushed a little bit. Today we are just revising. But hopefully we'll remember some good principles. See, the whole discussion of these 2 hours is just to become a little better devotees, not just to achieve the degree. Degree is just a part of that journey. So if we get some good principles, we become little better devotees in our life, in our own way. Our purpose is achieved actually. The rest of the things are actually formality. You know 10 verses, or you know 0 verses, or you know 100 verses. If you are very proud of 100 verses, actually it's 0. Not even 0. Sometimes it can be minus. You can offend someone. So anyway, the purpose is achieved. So I'm happy with that sense. Okay, let's move forward. 241, last. Who has not done as yet? I can see. Okay, Kanishka Mataji is there. If online, I don't know. It's a question. Already I went.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Would you like to do 241?
To do the translation or to read
Yes,
it?
just the translation, Mataji. It's few important points.
Okay. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branched.
Would you like to share some points, Mataji? Because we did this verse last week.
Okay.
Prabhuji, I think I may have missed this one. I think this is, I got called by kids during this one.
No problem, Mataji. That's all
Sorry,
right.
Prabhuji.
That's okay. That's okay. Mataji, anyway.
Yes, we discussed on
Hare Krishna. Speak a little louder for others.
in this verse, Prabhu spoke about the word resolute. Resolute means very determined and focused. Very determined and focused, and it's like
For others, for others.
so Prabhuji was discussing about the word resolute. So this verse is explaining the benefits of Bhakti Yoga, that is in Bhakti Yoga, and a person has to have firm determination in executing the Krishna consciousness of Bhakti Yoga. Because if a person is not executing this Krishna consciousness, then he will get limited by so many other activities that he does. From Krishna consciousness or deviation from the goal of life. So that's what I do.
Okay, Mataji, you want to add something?
So Vyavasaya Atmika, it's the Vyavasaya, it's a determination that is the very important thing, and Atmika is in the consciousness. So our consciousness needs to be, let's say, Krishna consciousness is very determined. That's not the whole.
Yes. Thank you. Anyone else want to add something? Yes, I'll come to you.
So, you are in Krishna consciousness. Your resolute is your focus is more intense. You are more resolute. Whereas if you are not, then it's multi-branched. Few other things which we discussed in the last class is you mentioned that Prabhupada also wanted us to be like Vaishya, at least, because we currently all are like in the Shudra examples you mentioned, Prabhu. One was Dhruv Maharaj, and the second one was Bharat Maharaj. I'll take the Dhruv Maharaj example first. At the age of 5 years, he was not educated. He was not as mature with like any other person. So, but even without having literally zero knowledge, since he was in Krishna consciousness, since he got the education from Narad Muni, he was very pakka, he was very focused in his devotional service, and at such a low age, he achieved the Lord. So that's one example. Second one is about Bharat Maharaj. So Bharat Maharaj, in his first attempt, as we know, he got bewildered and he got attracted towards the hero and the entire pastime. So he couldn't achieve the Lord in his first attempt. Second attempt, again, he was a bit bewildered, he was sidetracked. But in third attempt, he was very, very focused that this time I won't make any mistake. And he was living very simple lifestyle, nothing, no attachment towards anything. And because of his strong resolution, he finally achieved the Lord.
Very nice. The word
Prabhuji, I think one more thing you explained was during this for this verse was it was if you do anything to please Krishna, then you don't have to worry about pleasing anybody else. So there could be a karma that you're gonna do that is gonna be making everybody else happy, but not Krishna happy. Then it is not, you're not gonna achieve anything out of it. That was the point. But as long as you do something that everybody hates it, but Krishna loves it, you still would be satisfying Krishna and your conscious, and then you will not worried about any other activities, whether it is giving you a good result or bad result.
Yeah. Thank you. This is Sastri.
Prabhu, can I add a point?
Yes, ma'am.
So Krishna is saying, so he says vyavasayatmika buddhi, so we like business like intelligence. And what it means is that Krishna here is trying to say that as materialistic people, we see everything based on from a very financial perspective. So similarly, as devotees, we should see everything from a very spiritual perspective or from a spiritual potential. And so in just the last verse, he was talking about Neha Vikrama Nashosti. So he's taken it to a different level. So he's just trying to say that he spoke of karma kanda, then he's speaking of karma yoga. So we're just going one step up above in the yoga ladder. From karma kanda level, we are just going up into karma yoga level as well.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. So Vyavasaya word is very important. I think I mentioned also last time, Vyavasaya. Which refers to enterprise, as Mataji nicely said. Vyavasayi, entrepreneurship, always looking for the financial perspective. How much gain I'm going to get if I have a deal with the Master Prabhu, how much faida, what's the benefit I'm going to get. If I have a deal in this country, that country, my company has so many branches, what's the meaning of that? The bottom line is profit, profitability, that's all it is, right? So the spiritualist is always looking for the profitability in increasing his Shraddha to Krishna. Increasing Shraddha to Krishna. And I think I also discussed the example, if everyone remember, Kanjus and so Charu Mataji, you are not there, but someone can explain the example, Kanjus and Makhichus.
Hare Krishna. Kanjus is the person who is very miserly and he doesn't want to spend. Like an example was given that if there is a glass of milk and a fly falls into it, the Kanjus will throw away the milk. But the Makhichus is the one who will actually take out the fly from the glass of milk and he will lick it so that all the last drop of milk is also not wasted.
Not lick it, suck it.
Suck it. And then throw the fly away. But he will drink the glass of milk also, which is the fly was there.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So Makhichus will not, is suck it to the best. Anyway, the point here is Vyavasaya refers to this profitability mentality. Huh? So as Mataji said, we have to look everything from a spiritual perspective, how much gain we are going to go. We would talk about this politics, who's going to become MP, MLA of this zone or that zone. Does it really impact our life? What it really impacts our life is how much Krishna conscious we became today. Are we a better person today in terms of our devotee, or we are worse than yesterday? And only you can analyze your activities. Huh? Your mind is more agitated today, or your mind is peaceful today? Are you able to serve Krishna, his family better today or worse today? Huh? That is the only bottom line. There's nothing else. How much money you earn today, how much money you didn't earn today, you lost your car today, or you lost your house. That actually is not the criteria at all. The criteria is how much better devotee you are from yesterday, how much better devotee we are since last Ekadashi, since last Janmashtami. We are celebrating Janmashtami, for example. Are we just going to the temple and making some donation, maybe doing some seva as well? That's Janmashtami. Janmashtami is bringing Krishna in your heart. How much I can perceive more Krishna's presence in my heart than the last Janmashtami and then the Janmashtami 20 years before. Every year we go do the same thing and come back, and then we have all these lust, greed, and anger in our mind. So that's not the goal. Obviously, we are in journey, and that's fine. But that goal we should have in mind. Every morning we get up, we should have a goal. Krishna, make us a better devotee today. Now, that better devotee may be at work, working in a factory, earning very simple livelihood, or maybe a big boss, maybe sitting at home, or we are wearing a sadhu dress. Still, our mind is agitated with, say, money or fame. Then your dress of sadhu is not very recommended actually. So that's the whole idea. That's what the verse says. Our aim is only one. What is that? Become a devotee at the end of this fight. Somehow or other. Somehow or other. Beg, borrow, or steal. Beg means beg mercy from Vaishnavas. Beg mercy from our spiritual master. It says a serious devotee is identified by two things. A serious devotee is identified by two things. The first thing is he has a sense of purpose. He has a purpose in life. The purpose is not just to wear a Vaishnava dress and show others like a Vaishnava. That's not the purpose of his life. The purpose of his life is to become a Vaishnava. And the second thing, he has a sense of urgency. I need to do something right now, not tomorrow. I'll become devotee tomorrow. I'll become devotee next Janmashtami. You may not be there, Prabhuji. Huh? So he has a sense of purpose and he has a sense of urgency. By these two things, a devotee is recognized as a serious devotee, not how many verses he knows. That's again one part. It's very nice, and we should learn verses like left, right, center. Prabhupada said we should know our books like a lawyer knows his book. When we present Krishna consciousness, we should be present in a very scientific way, very strong, nice way. So others are convinced, not because I am better, because Shastra is so good. We should also become devotee. Huh? That's one part of it, but that's just not the only thing in devotion. How much is your intellectual ability is there? Huh? Some people are very intellectual. They can learn a lot more verses than us, but not necessarily mean they are better devotees. Not necessarily. Huh? So this verse is telling about becoming a very, very serious devotee and looking devotion as a full business mentality. Krishna is giving a live example actually. Huh? This is how it is. And if you can have this sense of purpose and sense of urgency, we'll become devotee very fast, because we know we don't have time to lose at all. Time is running very fast, and urgent means urgent. Today, I have to become devotee today, right now, not tomorrow. Okay, I'll stop here. Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Hearing one lecture where someone asked Prabhupada, you chastise people like, you say rascal and you use all sorts of these words. You can score easy, very easily. So when Prabhupada said, अगर आपके घर में आग लगी है, there is fire at your home, will you say, Prabhuji, चलते हैं बाबू, आग लगी है, it's going to hurt you? No, you will. It's a sense of urgency, right? You have to run, and that time, whatever comes out of your mouth, you just accept it. Don't get offended and don't take it personally. So,
very nice. Many times you have fire in the house, you'll not be relaxed watching TV. Let this India-Pakistan match finish. Then I'll jump out of the window. No, fire in the house, jump right now. India gets winning or someone else gets the winning. It's all right. It's all right. So nice example. We should remember this. It's urgent. Devotional life is urgent. Okay, anyone else has anything to add? All happy? Thank you, everyone. I know today we only did the revision, but I think this revision was nice. We got different principles, and next time no revision, so we can do double the verses. Okay. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Some announcements. or normal? Next week we'll meet at North City and we'll continue from the 242 onwards. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Srila
Krishna
Prabhupada.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhu, thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hare
Everyone.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.